This is Grapplers Talk.
What is up, fans of Grapplers Talk? This is Dave coming at you with another episode each and every week. Thank you to all of the fans and all of the support we get out there. It's truly an honor to bring you all the best grappling content out there and bring you the best interviews out there. I am always trying to bring you guys the best people in our area, the best people from all over the country, people that you want to hear from. And I am just thrilled to be here this week. First of all, I just got to say this podcast would not be possible without support from our partners out there. First of all, thank you to Spar Bar Soap for their continued support and doing what they do for the show. Check them out online. Check them out on Instagram. We're going to be doing a giveaway here with Spar Bar Soap. So check them out. Go follow them on Instagram. If you purchase any of their products, type in code word Grapplers Talk. You'll get 10% off of your orders over there. And they're just awesome people. I love Spar Bar Soap. They got a like a cedar scent that's out, and it's really awesome. It smells great. I like I said, I continue to use their products because they work with my sensitive skin and all the grappling that I do. I'm able to train and continuously keep up on the cleanliness. But thank you to Spar Bar Soap. Also, thank you to our partners over at Butterfly X. They are a one-stop shop when it comes to the rash guards, gis, belts. They got everything out there on their website. Also, if you're an academy owner, inquire with my friends over at Butterfly X about getting academy rash guards, academy belts, whatever you need. They can help you out. Two awesome gentlemen that really are supportive of the show. And thank you guys over at Butterfly X for everything you do for Grapplers Talk. We really, really appreciate you guys. Go check them out. Butterfly X, BFX Gear online. Type in code word Grapplers Talk 10 and you will receive 10% off of your order. But thank you to everyone for checking out the podcast this week. I'm thrilled to be joined with the matriarch of 10th Planet Stockton, I guess. I don't know how you say that, but
Like that.
one of the head people over there. You always see her out in almost any competition. She's done Arte Suave. She's done super fights, tournaments. She's always in the competition scene, but none other than Jessica. Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I happen to be really tired today. It was one of those days where I woke up at 3:30 in the morning and then I couldn't go back to sleep. So right now I'm running on fumes and like the fourth cup of coffee today.
What would we do without caffeine, right? Yeah. Well, thank you for being a part of this episode. I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to do this. I always like to nerd out and find out how you got started into jiu-jitsu. What brought you into that direction? Who was it and what made you stay with it? What was that driving factor?
So I have the story that I tell people in passing, and then I have the real story.
Let's hear them both.
So the story that I tell people in passing, because it kind of blends together. So like two things can be true at the same time, you know? Um, so I tell people in passing, I was going to my cousin's super fights. And after like the third one, I was like, well, maybe I should do that, and I told her like, hey, my cousin is Courtney Du Bois, by the way.
Okay.
So I was like, hey, I want to do it, and she's like, hey, okay, awesome. Come to the gym. We'll sign you up. And, like the rest was history, because like we're roughly the same size. I'm a little bit older than her, but yeah. So yeah, that's part of it. And that's what I usually tell people in passing. And her family's really into it still on
Oh
her.
yeah.
And, big time, competitors as well.
Right.
Her dad's in it, her mom's in it, like whole family's in it. And then there was the other piece that I've started to talk about like recently, but without going into too much detail. I was in a situation where I felt like I needed to be able to defend myself if need be. And it was a situation where I felt like I did need to defend myself. So I was like, this is it. In addition to like being invited to these cool things, the super fights up on the stage, they were all fancy and everything. I was like, that looks kind of fun. But that in combination with, okay, I have no like real understanding about how to defend myself, and I need to defend myself. I need something. And so like two things just kind of like fell together at the same time. And I went down on, it was July 3rd. I remember the exact date. It was July 3rd, 2017. And I never looked back. Like that was it.
Yeah. No, and it's crazy you kind of say two things just happen at the same time, but that's the way this world works. And definitely having two daughters myself, wanting them to understand how to defend themselves is an important thing as a father, as a partner, whatever it is, right? You want your family to feel safe, and you want your daughters and your loved ones to feel safe. I think everyone should be training jujitsu for those reasons, right?
Yeah. Oh, I totally agree. I have three daughters myself, and well, my oldest doesn't want to train anymore, so that ran its course. It's like the moment she was old enough to stay home by herself, she was like, I'm gonna stay home, mom. Like, all right, okay. I'm not gonna force you to do it. But my other two, my middle daughter, she's super into competing too. Like she's getting into the competition scene. Like Jiu-Jitsu Worldly, she's done a super fighter too. So that's a different animal. So she's learning how to do that part of it. And then my youngest one, she's really into it, but she does not like to compete. She did one tournament when she was like, I want to say she was like 7. And she's like, I had fun, but not for me, not for me. Like, all right, that's fine. And it was the real cute ones too, where they're like, they're 7, they got the hot pink gi and they got the little pigtails, and
Yeah.
they're just trying to snap each other, dancing in circles. And I was just like, oh, it's so
Yeah.
cute.
Oh yeah, it's
Now
it's adorable.
now she's like, I just don't want to do it. I'm like, all right. So I'll just beat kids up in class. I'm like, okay.
So obviously with jujitsu, it's a harder martial art to learn. Like, I mean, you spend a lot of time in the beginning kind of losing, right? Or at least learning, some
Yeah.
people say. But what made you stick with it? And like, when it's easy to quit anything, right? And you kept pursuing, like, all right, this may be tough, but I'm gonna stick with it. How did you keep going?
There's a couple of things. One, I was always an athlete. And, when you're an adult, you're like, what do I do now? That kind of thing. Cause I played travel softball from the time I was 9 years old until I aged out when I was 18. So that was a huge part of my life. Like I would drag my family all over well, we went to Utah, we went to Seattle, like we were all over the country.
Yeah.
So that was like a major part of my life. And then I turned 18 and they're like, it's gone. So there was like a hole, like I
Yeah.
needed like that camaraderie that comes with sports, and just like the physicality of it. And I was a catcher too. So I was like, I was in it.
Yeah, you're really involved.
Yeah, yeah. So I was like, I'm not afraid, that, I'm diving, and, I was covered in bruises and scratches. And so that's just my personality to begin with. So not doing anything. And I ended up being a classroom teacher at a high school. And I'm just like, I am so bored. And I had like littles at home, and like, it's like, I need something. And like keeping that, it kind of turned into my social hour too at some point, because again, like I'm a high school teacher. So like you go to work, I see people all day long, but they're not adults.
Right. They're mostly adolescents. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So some of them are wonderful. Some of them need some growing.
Yeah.
so, so after dealing with that, and it's a great outlet on top of that. And then just having a place where it was my safe place.
Yeah.
Like, this is the place where I could go and everything just doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter like what kind of day I had. It didn't matter uh, who said what, when or where. Now I'm at my safe place. I'm at my happy place. And then it was literally my safe place there. I was safe there too. I felt safe there. And that was a huge part for me. Like I needed a place at that moment in time where I felt like I could just be and not worry. And that was it for me. And then there was the whole like mental puzzle piece because I'm also like my degrees in biochemistry and like I like puzzles, like I like that kind of part. And so this is stimulating. Like, why is this not working? Like I'm doing it the way I'm supposed to do it and it's not working. I got to figure this out. So there
Right.
was that part of it too.
The challenge, yeah, the challenge aspect of it. But you talked about something. You talked about it being like your safe place. So many people use the gym or the academy or the dojo, whatever you want to call it, as their safe place and a place that they can just release all of their daily problems. And when they go into the door, they can just focus on training and their camaraderie, their friends, their training methods, and everything from work goes out the window, everything from home goes out the window, and they can just focus on jujitsu. And to me, now everyone's gonna think I'm starting a cold over here, but like it's like a sanctuary. You all put on the gi, you all have the reverence of going, into the sanctuary, and it's almost like a religious aspect, but it's everyone has a different reason for being there. Some people are there for the mental health, some people are there for the physical aspect, and the workout, and there are also some people that are there, for the challenge, for the problem solving, like yourself. So no matter why you're there, we can all come into one place and train. That's the coolest thing about it.
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah. So talk to me about how long was it before you started getting into competing and testing the waters with the competition scene?
So I never did a white belt tournament, didn't compete at white belt. I did one at blue right before COVID. And I still like I use this as a teaching moment, like get your hooks in because I lost my first tournament because I took her back and I couldn't get that last hook in and I lost. So like that's burned in my memory forever. And I have one blurry picture that my father took. That's all I have to remember that tournament by. And then COVID came and that was like the last tournament that like happened because it was like a month before the shutdown. And so I was pretty much just a COVID blue belt. And so, back to the training with trash bags on the windows kind of day,
Yeah.
so once things opened up again, I was like on the tail end of being a blue belt. So I got in, I think it was one or two more at blue. I think it was only one. And then right after that, I ended up getting my purple belt. And then I competed like crazy as a purple belt. So it was a COVID blue, but purple belt was like, this is it. Like I like this. This is fun. I like the people that I meet when I do this. I always tell Tim that I compete so I can make friends. Because it's so hard to find a female training partner that's one that I don't train with already. So I don't know her stuff. She doesn't know my stuff.
Right.
But to find somebody that's not a white belt in our area is really hard.
Oh yeah.
So trying to find somebody with some rank is like I have to compete.
Yeah, you have to get out there, and that's the thing about the social aspect of jujitsu is, so many good people in the community, regardless if you've gone against them or if you're from rival schools or anything like that. There's so many awesome people that are willing to, make friends and share knowledge today, and kind of help everyone grow at the same time.
Oh yeah, yeah. I have a couple friends. They're friends now that I competed against. So that's how I met them.
Yeah.
There's another lady that trains in out of Conception that I competed against twice last year, and now like she's coming to our open mat this weekend. So
Yeah. That's
so
pretty cool.
like that's legit like how I meet people.
Oh yeah, and then the social aspect of jujitsu, like it's hard as an adult, like and not many people know this unless they move to an area where they don't have many friends, but it's hard to make friends as an adult.
Yeah.
And it's not like you can go into coffee shops and just hang out and wait for somebody to come in and try to make friends with them.
You're
And, if you got kids and families and stuff, you can't be hanging out at the bars and, the nightclubs and stuff like that. So it's really hard to find good people in your life that, you can relate with, that you can, go on a walk with, go exercise with, and, have a good time. But jujitsu is a place where you can do that. And so many relationships and friendships are built from the mats and from training partners. And, I talk about it, some of my closest friends, we've all been, friends for over 20 years. We met in jujitsu in 2005. So, it creates a bond, it creates a relationship with people. And, some of the best relationships can be bonded on the mats.
Yeah, yeah. Some of my best friends I met when we were white belts, and now we're still training together. And then now, like I'm bringing my family into it. Like I this has been a fun month for me. I've got all three of my siblings training with me now.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah,
super cool.
we're all like just this last week. Like this is like super new for me. But like getting my family, like my immediate family involved too, on top of like these are my friends. I've got my best friend in there, I've got my sisters in there, I've got my brother in there, and then like these guys are my best friend, and it's just I just it's awesome.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. I want to back up a little bit and discuss what's going on in your head during a competition for somebody that competes as much as you do nowadays, and quite a bit during purple belt. When did you feel like you started to find comfort or like a routine in what you do before a match?
I started liking it too when I played tournament softball, where like because that doesn't bother me, like people watching me, that has never been an issue. So I started just thinking, it's no different than that. Because what I was doing was I was kind of psyching myself out. Like I would like look the girl up and I would like kind of Instagram stalk her a little bit. And then I would worry. And then I would like, well, what if she does this? And then I'm like, well, she's kind of jacked. And then, all that sort of stuff. And I started like creating problems that weren't there. So I started once I got to the point where I was like, it's just like when I was a kid, and it's just like you go play some random team that you've never met before. Just let's just think of it the same way. Let's just random girl. I'm not going to Instagram stalk her anymore because I'm just going to worry for no reason. And once I started doing that, then I stopped doing that because I would like, you do something in the gym and then you go to compete and you just go whoop, and it's not
Yeah.
there anymore.
Oh, yeah.
So I kind of quit doing that when I stopped worrying so much.
Yeah.
Because there was a minute there when I first started competing where I would just like do like a stutter kind of thing, and like, what's she doing? I'm like literally like stuttering with my body. And I watch footage now and I just like cringe. It's like, what was I doing? But I know what it was. I know what was going through my head at the time. But now I have a totally different approach with it. Like I get into the bullpen and I'm chatting them up, and I can see like on some of them they're like, what is she doing? But I'm like, hi, where are you, what school are you with? And like even if we're not even in the same bracket, I'm just like, what's your name? And how long have you been training? And that kind of stuff. Do you have any women's open mats?
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. So uh, once I started realizing that they're human too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Like everyone's kind of going through the same motions at the same time. Just as nervous, or there's things going through their head. They're worried about this or worried about that. So, you know, uh, they're humans too. We got to remember that at the same time that we're in competition. But I want to talk to you about something interesting, and that's the growth of women's jujitsu over the past few years. And we just saw this past CJI, and I mean, I think the women stole the show. I think the
Oh, yeah.
cash prize should have been switched around, and the guy should have got 100 grand for the winning team, and maybe the women should have got the million. But just my opinion on that. But yeah, I thought the women stole the show, and we got young gals like Sarah Galval and Helena Kavar, and all these young ladies coming up in the scene that are really making a name for women in jujitsu. Where do you see the growth of it going? Do you see, like, all women's ADCCs and getting bigger and, tournaments catering more towards the women.
I see it going that way eventually, but in terms of when, I don't think we're there yet. We're not quite there yet. We still got a lot of growing to do. We still got a lot of recruitment, so to speak. And we're at the point where it's taken seriously. I feel like we're at that point now, but I feel like we still need to do a lot of just bringing people into it in the first place, because like I was saying before, the majority of the women in the area, I mean, there are a few purple belts and things like that, and Stockton, but and there's a handful of black belts as well, but it's a handful. Uh,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of white belts at the moment, a lot, which is wonderful and is extremely promising. But we know how it goes. They get to blue belt and then they're gone.
Yeah. Fall off rates and
Everybody falls off.
injuries and
Yeah. Life happens, and,
yeah.
you do it for a month or you do it for a year and like you decide it's not for me. But I think introducing it to girls, meaning like young girls earlier, and promoting it more at that age group, I think that's going to be our ticket right there.
Yeah.
I think like my daughter's age group is going to be the age group that takes over. It's not going to be me. I'm pushing up 40. Ugh. I got
We could
3 years.
edit that
Okay,
out for you.
I've got 3 years. Uh, but I think my daughter's age group, I think those are going to be the ones that started when they were 5 years old, and they grew up in it because dad or whoever was the black belt,
Mhm.
or mom just needed something for them to do on a Tuesday afternoon. And that was like an option amongst all of the other sports, where before, like when I was a kid, this was not like,
Yeah.
even
It
though
wasn't a thing. Yeah.
I didn't know it existed until I was in my 20s. And then
Yeah.
I was pregnant and I was like, well, gotta wait on that. Uh, but now it's like, it's an option for after school curriculum kind of stuff, like you can do soccer, you can do softball, or hey, let's try jujitsu, and I have kids that come in that the mom's like, I just need something for my son to do, and my daughter, and that kind of stuff. So I think
Yeah.
because of that, and it's becoming more mainstream, and it's a situation where the boys and the girls are on even footing at that age in terms of development. And it's not like, oh, this is the girls class, and it's not treated like when I played softball, like, oh, you throw like a girl, and show you how I throw like a girl. Uh, now it's like, all right, honey, you got to let him go. You're gonna break his arm.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
My girls are the mat enforcers. So so I think because of that, I think that age group is going to be the ones that take it.
Yeah. Something that's not talked about with the biggest difference between men and women training and we're talking about the older ones, but like there's a point to where a young lady may want to start a family and that takes a huge time away from jujitsu if she trains, and to get back into it after you have a family and you've taken so much time off, it can be very, very hard where that's probably one of the hardest things about being a young woman. And as you go through jujitsu and continue to train, not everyone's like Elizabeth Clay or anything like that who can take a month off and she's back to a world championship. But
Yeah.
I'm sure it's pretty difficult as a woman to as they progress in jujitsu, if they do want to become a mother. Or, I know Ronda Rousey, like she had to put motherhood on hold for a long time for her UFC career and her judo Olympic career and everything that she had going on. So it can get you away from jujitsu to where you may not ever be able to go back.
Yeah, it definitely complicates things. And I've heard the opposite end of the coin too, where I've talked to a few like very high level black belts where they're like, I don't want to stop now, because if I stop now, then I'm out of it, and I'm like, I'm getting old, but then I'm gonna like then am I gonna be too old to have kids at
Right,
this
right.
point? So they're like, they tell me, oh, that's the way that you did it. That's the way to do it. Like you have all your kids, and then you do jujitsu, and then you like go full force. So I've seen like both ends of it. I have friends that I train with that they're getting to be like in their mid 30s and they don't have any kids, and they're like, I don't know, I need to make this decision. Do I want to or not? Or do I keep training? Or and then I have the other camp where um they have kids and then they start like I did. So it's
Yeah.
just it's life. It's really, really weird.
Yeah. You never know what it's gonna throw at you
Really
too. Yeah.
complicates it. Yeah. And then I've had um, conversations with some women, and this is like, it really throws a monkey wrench into things. I've had a few friends where like they were at a tournament and they're like, I didn't know I was pregnant.
Yeah.
And they ended up miscarrying because they had no idea. Like it was so early in the pregnancy, like they didn't know. And so they're just like, I, well,
Yeah. No,
that
that
happened.
that changes things. Yeah, that can
Yeah.
definitely affect you in a huge way. But there's something that I see like a lot of high level women grapplers, it seems like tend to lean towards more of a UFC career. There's not really too many huge sports for women to make tons of money, right? And that needs to change over time, and there needs to be a path where women don't need to take all these crazy punches to the face to make the kind of money that they do. That's why I was thrilled Craig Jones put a big cash prize on a women's tournament. So maybe more people will start to catch on, and maybe we can have more women into higher level sports like grappling that, they can have an avenue to make some pretty high dollar paydays.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish when I was my daughter's age, like that was like an option. So now she's looking at it and she's going, they made how much money? They made a significant amount of money. She's like, that's an option. Yeah. Yeah. Whereas for me, like it was UFC.
Yeah.
That was it. And then other other sports, like they're just starting to pay them semi decently. So
Well, and you could probably answer this better than I could, but I don't know of any professional like women's softball leagues. I mean, maybe there are some, but I don't know what kind of
there's
paydays they're
been
getting.
There's been some like they come and go. They come and go. They come and go. We had like Stockton had a professional softball team for like a year.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think there's been like three or four leagues where they tried and they just couldn't for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And now there's a professional women's baseball league that's supposed to be coming up soon. So, I mean, it's happening, but it's still too far in between.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of room for growth in women's sports, but you see these jujitsu tournaments, you go to IBJJF tournaments or open mats, and you see more and more women and young ladies getting involved in jujitsu, and I'm just thrilled to see it because they're the ones that need it the most. I feel like it's our young women, our ladies that need to feel protected and to develop these skills against anybody else in life that they come across. It's never going to hurt to have the skills and have the knowledge base if they ever did need to use it, right?
Yeah. Well, hopefully they never have to.
Yes.
That's the hope. But that's another. I have like a little side project that I do. I always do basic women's self-defense seminars, and I always do one in October because October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
Yeah.
I'm getting ready to do. I have two scheduled. I have one in Walnut Creek. I think it's October 4th. It's either the 4th or the 5th. But I have another one that's going to happen in Stockton at 10th Planet Stockton on the 19th, October 19th at 3:30. So
Yeah.
I always, and it's a free, the one in Stockton is going to be free. I'm not sure about the one in Walnut Creek. I don't want to speak on that one right now. But I always do those so that one, I can like bring people in, because I typically what happens is I get at least one person to sign up for jujitsu.
Yeah.
But my emphasis is less so much on like join sport jujitsu and do tournaments with me, and it's more let me show you how to maintain space between you and somebody. And if that space is violated, how do you regain that space? How do we do that? Because we spend a lot of time where we're interacting with people that violate that space. And I'm going to start rambling some statistics here, but
It's
uh,
okay. Go on.
80% of sexual assaults are committed by somebody you know. It's not the, it's more than that. It's 86%. Uh, it's not some random creepy guy in the alley, statistically speaking. Sometimes it is, but the majority of the time, it is somebody that you know. So they're already in that space to begin with. So learning how to regain that space if you need to is an extremely, extremely crucial skill to have. It's super helpful in sport jujitsu too, because I'm like,
Yeah.
get off me. Just stand up, you know?
Yeah.
But and like being aware of your surroundings and those types of things. And if somebody grabs a hold of you, how do you make them not have a hold of you anymore? It's not one of those, let me break some pencils and let's like pretend like we're breaking fingers and all that sort of, let's punch them in the face. It's not geared towards that. It's how do I how do I regain my space? Because if I have my space, I'm okay.
Yeah, yeah, that's important, and understanding that though too is another thing that's important. And without proper training, if you don't do anything and you come into a situation, most people don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And that's probably the biggest thing. So I mean, even if you can't train 5 times a week or anything like that, but getting in there and doing self-defense seminars and things to educate yourself on what are the proper things to do. So if and hopefully not, if anything ever happens, you have the proper training and you don't freeze up, right? That can be scary, thinking of not knowing what to do and that panic sets in, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I always explain it like a fire drill. Like we practice fire drills when we're little kids so that if a fire does happen, we don't have to think about it. You just do it. And same thing with self-defense. I always tell them too, like you have to practice this
Yeah.
so that you don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
So sign up for jujitsu so that you do it every week.
Yeah. You got to develop those skills. And there's so many people that thinks that when something happens, they're just going to know exactly what to do and be able to throw these crazy incredible punches that just knock everyone out. And
Yeah.
I see red. I see red. Yeah, no, it's wild. I want to talk to you a little bit about 10th Planet Stockton and the training over there. And primarily you guys mostly are no gi, obviously, being a 10th Planet school. Is there any gi that you do?
So at one time we did have an adult gi program that went away. It's been almost 2 years now, almost 2 years. So I trained in the gi up until purple belt every week, from white until purple. So it was right before I got my like the tail end of my purple belt. We let the gi program go.
Yeah.
But the kids are still in the gi. So our littles, our peewees, they're always in the gi. And then we kind of do a hybrid program with the bigger kids where one day they're in the gi and then the other day they're in no gi. I like to think like we're like weaning them off the gi. So I was like, well, if we expect them to do no gi when they're adults, we have to show them no gi when they're children.
Yeah.
So otherwise it's just weird. What do you mean I can't grab the clothes anymore?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it changes things, right?
Yeah.
There is a big difference. But what keeps you in the 10th Planet system? What do you like about the 10th Planet system?
The weird shit.
Yeah.
I have My guard's really flexible, so I like the weird shit where like my foot's in your face and you're like, "Is that your foot?" Yes, it is. And
Yeah.
so I like the weird shit, like fly traps, all the like my leg comes from weird angles and I like it.
Yeah.
Because when I first started, I oftentimes was the only woman on the mat. Sorry, my voice just went. I was the only woman on the mat, or like the other option was like a 12-year-old. So,
Yeah.
so the majority of the time it was guys that had 50 pounds on me. So my arms were useless, more or less, you know? So like I could hold on to you, but I'm not going to muscle anything. I'm not going to crank out an arm bar on you or anything like that, but I can get my leg over your head.
Yeah. No,
Uh,
that's an important thing, is controlling someone, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So I can get my leg around in weird spots and weird angles. So it's like and then I was like introduced to like rubber guard and I'm like, okay, well, this is nice. This is
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, no, the 10th planet system, I like to pick and choose from it. You know, there's so many good things in there. I can't do them all because I'm getting older, but I can definitely pick and choose the things that I can do. And I love them. The lockdown, the twisters, that's all good stuff. And, you know, there's a lot of different things in the 10th planet system that I like personally, that keeps me going to it. But no, I definitely have been a fan of Eddie Bravo for many years. I got into his books when I first started, and no one was doing it at the time. That was the unique thing. And now that Tim has opened up the 10th Planet School, and you know, all that was crazy back in the day. You know, they were the ones that I heard talking about mastering the rubber guard and different things of that nature. So for them to actually go through and train with Master Eddie, and you know, get as far as he has been pretty impressive to see.
Yeah. The other thing that I like about the 10th planet system is the networking.
Yes.
Really like the networking. And there's a lot of high level female black belts that I can lean on, whether it's just for training or if it's just, hey, what do you think about this? Let me bounce this idea off of you. And what I've found that they always want to help. You know, I haven't come across anybody, at least anybody that I've come across in the 10th planet system where they're like, ew, like that
Yeah.
mean girl kind of situation. And I've floated around a little bit, like gyms here and there, drop-ins and stuff like that. And you know when there's a mean girl vibe, like you can just,
I don't know, but I'm sure.
I
I'm sure.
know, no.
Yeah.
Uh, but I'm not like that mean girl vibe just does not sit with me. I don't like that. So I just not for me.
Yeah.
So everybody that I've come in contact with have been super helpful, inviting, friendly, and then just being able to go like, I'm gonna go on vacation. Oh, hey, there's a 10th planet there. I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
That's really cool too. I like that.
Yeah, you know, I'd say that's probably one of the most valuable things in the 10th planet thing is the network. And you know, so many high level 10th planet schools all over the country. You can go on vacation almost anywhere and find a pretty solid place to train, and you're going to be welcome like a family member too. You know, it's a real tight network. Everyone's pretty tight in the community, and at least locally, I've seen a lot of the, you know, people like Chris Vickers come around, and you know, I know he teaches at Stockton occasionally, or has in the past. And it's just a tight squad, tight network, it seems like.
Chris actually teaches for us every Monday. Like
Okay.
he's invested.
Yeah, no, he's a
um,
great guy too.
yeah,
Great.
he's super sweet. Um, actually, Will Lee, he's one of our coaches, and my man, uh, he is under Candors as well. And so him and Chris were training together when Chris was a blue belt.
Okay.
So we're super close. We network pretty tightly with Candors pretty bit. Just everybody in the area. Like we do a lot of like crossover. Like Mike Hildebrand came in and like just taught a class for us one night, just
Yeah.
because. Like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah. That's
Thanks.
pretty awesome to
You know,
have, right?
stuff like that. And then like, Chris is coaching for us once a week, even though he has his own gym, just because he wants to. you know?
Yeah.
So I've seen a lot of just crossing over and like the guys just helping just for the sake of helping.
Yeah. That's what it's about, right? We all are in this thing to get better and gain more skills. So when you have people like Chris and the others out there that are willing to help and share that knowledge, I mean, it's just going to bring everyone's game up and improve everyone around you.
Yeah.
So it's nothing bad that you can do. Jessica, I want to talk in closing just about your goals for the future. Are you planning on competing down the road 10 years from now, 5 years from now, or is there a point you're going to kind of lean more towards a coaching role?
I'm going to compete as long as my body will let me, as long as it's willing.
Yeah.
As long as, I mean, again, I'm knocking on the door of 40. So as long as, yeah, because I was a catcher. So the knees will, the knees will say.
Oh, yeah.
When the knees decide it's time to stop, then that's, they're fine now. I'm not saying I got bad knees now. But I know I've seen x-rays. I know that the cartilage is gone.
Yeah.
One day it will catch up with me. I know it will.
Yeah.
But as long as my body is willing, the mind's always going to be there. I'll be the old lady in the bracket and you're going to have to take me out.
You're going to be all the way in the Master 4 division, Master 5
Yeah,
division, holding it down, huh?
I will. I will.
I like it. Jessica, it's been awesome getting to talk to you, getting to catch up with you. Just a couple things. If people want to train with you, how do they find you? How do they get a hold of you? How do they sign up for that trial class?
You can go to our website, 10thplanetstockton.com, or you can hit me up on Instagram. My handle is Lawley Cakes, Lawley Cakes. That's just a nickname that my best friend gave me in high school. I don't know why. So it stuck. So that's me.
There you go. And then you got a big competition coming up this weekend, right?
I'm going to Naga. One of my white belts decided he wanted to sign up, and I was going to go coach him anyway. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to throw myself in there because I want one of those fancy Naga belts.
Yeah. No, those Naga belts are pretty sick. Everyone's always trying to get those. And, good luck to you going out there and your students this weekend. And we wish you nothing but the best. Also, give us the information one more time on that women's self-defense seminar that you guys have coming up.
It's going to be on October 19th at 3:30. We'll run it for an hour, and it's going to be free for anybody at any skill level. You don't have to have like pre-jiu-jitsu experience or anything like that. So bring your mom, bring your grandma, bring your sister, bring your aunt. Just no zippers on your clothing.
Yeah. Very important. But yeah, go check it out if you're in the area. Thank you, Jessica, for being a part of this episode of Grapplers Talk. Before we let you go, we just want to give you a couple minutes for any shout outs, any sort of love towards your training partners or teammates. But just take a couple minutes. The floor is yours.
Oh, you're putting me on the spot. So there's a lot of people, but my coaching team at 10th Planet Stockton are awesome. Tim, if you're not familiar with how our gym works, Tim lives in Tennessee. So my coaching team, we operate things on site. Tim, pays the bills and and directs things, but we're the people on the ground. We're the ones manually signing people up when they walk in. We're the ones greeting people. We're the ones teaching classes. And the people that I teach with, the 6 a.m. crew, Mike and Dennis, they're awesome. They hold down the fort in the morning, and wonderful training partners, wonderful people. And then my evening coaches as well, Allison and Casey help with the kids program, and then Will doing our MTS class, the mastering the system class. We literally couldn't do it without all of us. It's such a team effort, and I'm just, and then Chris coming in and helping us. I really want to thank him because his expertise is just phenomenal with his ridiculous amounts of dead orchards that he has in competitions. We're just like, we're counting, we're counting with him,
What's he up to right now? He's got to be close.
It was like 93 last count. So he's shooting for 100.
Yeah.
And then Bree Stick has been coaching with us as well. She's with us once a week, and and if you're not familiar with Bree, she's super high level too. Like, she was a Medusa champ. She went to Kazakhstan not too long ago, and she's supposed to go to, I think, Serbia next week or something.
Wow.
So she's something else. But just I'm just floored at how well we all work together, and I'm forever grateful that we're able to keep this open despite him moving cross country, because it would have been really easy for him to just, all right, I'm just going to sell it, and I'm just going to let somebody else, or he could have just closed it. But
yeah.
Thank you, Tim, for trusting us to have your child with it, raise your child, so to speak. So thank you.
Yeah. It was awesome getting to talk to you, getting to hear your story. We wish you nothing but success in the future. Thank you for being a part of this episode. Again, go check out our friends over at Butterfly X, also at Spar Bar Soap. Use our code words for 10% off both websites. Again, thank you everyone for listening and downloading. You can find us each and every week on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or anywhere where you get podcasts. But thank you again. This has been another great episode of Grapplers Talk. This is Dave, and we are out.
This is Grapplers Talk.